Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we're going to be playing some midweek Magic Historic Artisan, one of my personal favourite formats, and a nice little stopgap between now and the Baldur's Gate set releasing. There was an early access event. I was invited. I declined because I don't really want to play Alchemy. But I want those cards for Historic Brawl. So once Baldur's Gate comes out and is released for everyone, we're going to be playing some Historic Brawl. But until then, let's do some Historic Artisan. We're going to be returning to one of my favourite archetypes and playing around with a couple of new cards from the new Capenna set. Most specifically, the new Capenna Alchemy set. So, Esper Blink is essentially built around ETB effects, enter the battlefield, and getting the value over and over again. So you got things like Ravenous Chupacabra, enters the battlefield, destroys a creature. You can flicker that with Cloud Shift or Soul Herder, and that will allow you to reuse that ability all over again. And with the addition of the new Alchemy set, we got Skyline Savior that I want to try out. It's a 3-mana 3/4 flyer, so a pretty solid body on its own. And when it enters the battlefield, you return a permanent you control to its owner's hand. If it's a non-angel creature, then it gains flying and becomes an angel in addition to its other types. So you can't really constantly bounce this to make it bigger and bigger and bigger. You can only get that +1/+1 and flying one time. So we're going to be trying that out. Only 2 copies though, because obviously this is a much worse flicker than something like Soul Herder than Cloud Shift, because it forces you to reinvest into the creature's ability once again. So I'd have to pay the 4 again, which is kind of the upside of doing flicker stuff, is that I only have to pay for the 4 once, and then we pay a much discounted rate down the line later. We also have Nightclub Bouncer as well, 4-mana 2/3 with Flash, and when it enters the battlefield we get to return a non-land permanent to an opponent controls to its owner's hand, and it perpetually costs 1 more to cast, which hopefully means we're going to be able to bounce annoying threats that we can't really deal with. We don't have a way of dealing with artifacts, for example, other than bouncing them back to hand, so we could make them cost an absurd amount of money in order to replay, which a bouncer doing bouncing stuff, chef's kiss, pretty good flavour on that one. The rest of the deck though is kind of the deck that you've probably seen before from me, because I do love playing flicker decks. So we got Cloud Blazer at the top end, gaining 2 life and drawing 2 cards, a great way to stabilise in the late game. We've got Vengeful Rebel, which has Revolt. When it enters the battlefield, if a permanent left the battlefield this turn, so by flickering or dying or being sacrificed in the case of Evolving Wilds, then a creature our opponent controls gets -3/-3 until the end of the turn, which is solid removal. We got Fatal Push, again, solid removal as well. This also has Revolt, so it normally deals with creatures with mana value 2 or less, but if I crack my Evolving Wilds or I flicker a spell, then I get the Revolt of dealing with mana value 4 or less instead, which is the majority of the format that we're going to see from our opponent. So that's quite nice. We got Dawnbringer Cleric, which has destroy target enchantment, but otherwise gains us 2 life and exiles graveyards, so a nice little toolbox creature there. Militia Bugler is kind of a card draw spell of sorts. It's a 3-mana 2/3 with Vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, you look at the top 4 cards of your library and may reveal a creature card with power 2 or less from among them and put it into your hand. So power 2 or less is the majority of our deck, so Cloud Blazer, Ravenous Chupacabra, Nightclub Bouncer, other Buglers, Soul Herder, which is our build-around card, Skyclave Cleric, and Dawnbringer Cleric. All of those can be hit with Militia Bugler, so the count on this is quite high, so the odds of whiffing on it are very low. But yeah, that's effectively all I'm going to say on the deck. I think it'll explain itself as we get into the gameplay. Hopefully this works. We haven't really tried out the Bouncer or the Savior, so we'll find out if they're good or not. Maybe they're a hindrance more than a help. But yeah, there's only one way to find out, and that's by getting into the gameplay. So be sure to enjoy it, and if you do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Maybe? I don't know. If you feel like it, it's up to you. You could do those things. I'd appreciate them. But yeah, let's get to the gameplay. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Okay, we're in. We are on the draw. Our hand doesn't exactly do anything exciting, but it has answers to stuff, and we could top deck, so... There's a Capenna takedown, so that's our 4th land, but we've got 3 turns until we need that 4th land, so let's just play our planes and say go, I think. It's on zombies. And there's our 4th land. I think I'm just gonna go and fetch that now. Alright, let's see if we can beat zombies. Let's go get a black sauce. Yeah, I guess so. I don't think it really matters between black and blue. So get drained for 1. Get drained for 1 again. Take 2. Alright, that's a nice part of the curve, I suppose. Because I was just going to do Soul Herder otherwise, and Soul Herder wasn't doing much. So now I've got a decent blocker. Am I going to need the life gain? I've already got a Chupacabra. Yeah, I think I will take the life gain. It's maybe Cleric into takedown. Alright, looks like we're losing. I'll make the trade here. They'll have to do the -1. And then we'll go Ziggurat, Chupacabra. Get rid of the Lord so that we can chump block these guys, I suppose. Maybe, I don't know. Hobbling zombie. And another hobbling zombie. Yeah, I mean... bit of a non-game, really. Got Skyclave Cleric to gain some life. When he dies, create a 2/2. So, I guess I could do this. And try to double block the Corpse Knight, but if they play a zombie, I'm going to die. So, try to go to 1. And hope for the best. What have you got? It's a land. Alright. Crack this for blue. Just to thin the deck. I need some good answers here. Vengeful Rebel is kind of one of those answers, but Soul Herder's going to get some work done as well. So let's pass the turn. I guess I could have attacked for 1 there. No biggie. Pass. There's a Corpse Knight. So, Corpse Knight needs to die, and I could double block hobbling zombies. Lose 2 Skyclave Clerics. Feels really awful, but... I guess I could chump block 1, and then take down the Corpse Knight. Go into 1. God, this is this is quite the match. Right, so now we could do Vengeful Rebel. Won't do anything now, but will later. I'm gonna get in. Okay, I was gonna say I'm gonna get in with my Cleric, holding back my Soul Herder just in case I'm forced to block with it. Going up to 3. And then we can start flashing in Vengeful Rebels to pick apart Their hobbling zombies making decayed tokens means the Soul Herder can block them. So I think that's a pretty good thing. And then we got the Cloud Shift as well to trigger the Rebel again to get rid of the other hobbling zombies. So they're left with 2 decayed tokens, which I think might be the way to go. It's hard to say because I don't know if they've got a top deck that would just like ping me for 1 off the top, which would be a reason to go for the Cleric over killing the board with the Rebels. So either way, we managed to take a game and on to the next one. Alright, so we're on the play. We've got a 3-lander, technically. And I think I'm going to keep it. It's a little bit awkward on the mana. The Nightclub Bouncer's not looking that great here, but stick this on black, I suppose. And then we've got Fatal Push plus Skyclave Cleric as a land, maybe. Otherwise, play the Plains. Okay, we've got Skyline Savior. I think I'm just going to play my Cleric here. I think we might be up against Mono Blue Tempo, and if we are, having Fatal Push is going to be nice here. It's a Ruined Crab. Alright, so they're going to get a land drop. And I'm going to be able to respond to it. Not sure how this matchup fares, but yeah, forcing our opponent to fetch there so that they can't get the value off the next Ruined Crab's quite nice. Got a Vengeful Rebel. I guess I'm just playing Dawnbringer Cleric because there's no value in bouncing Rebel back. Exile a card from a graveyard? No, I think we'll just go 2 life here. I don't think my life total matters necessarily, but I don't think exiling their graveyard matters either, so... Alright, give me a Flicker spell. We can bounce the Cleric with the Savior to kill the tutelage. But I would, of course, prefer a cleaner solution. So bounce that back. And then we'll catch the tutelage on the way down. So our opponent gets a turn of being useful. Oh god, they've got another. Okay, Cloud Shift, please. It's going to be interesting. I think we could potentially race them. But I'm going to need to deal with at least one of these tutelages. Alright, we didn't really draw mill anything there that was relevant. Soul Herder, fantastic. I just need a blue source. So now Cleric is going to destroy a tutelage. And the pressure's on. If I draw a blue source, the tutelage is dealt with. Opponent just passes. Okay, well. Get in with the Savior and the Cleric here. And then we're going to Bugler looking for another Cleric. Assuming our opponent's just holding... Ooh, they're holding Into the Story up. Okay, this is a big mill with the tutelage. 35 cards currently. Milling 8. Now, there goes our last Cleric. It's one of our few ways to deal with it. We've got the Nightclub Bouncer, but, like, our mana sucks right now. Well, basically just drew a land. I'm inclined to use it as a land. Well, we've got them on the 2-turn clock already, so they're basically going to have to kill me now. I've got 26 cards. 24. Yeah, they really just have to answer my board, and if it's bounce magic, then that's going to be a problem for them. I'm mostly going for the land on the Skyclave there, because if they do bounce like my Skyline Savior, then I can use it to bounce Dawnbringer Cleric and potentially draw a land to replay the Cleric for the tutelage kill. Might as well hover my my deck size here, since that's my new life total. Down to 22. Down to 20. Yeah, it's just a matter of, like, kill that tutelage and win the game, or hit my opponent and they probably lose anyway. Cloud Shift, fantastic. Alright, so we are now going to hit our opponent. That Cloud Shift probably means that I win this game, because they're pretty much forced to interact with my board state in some form. And then I can go with my Cloud Shift. I think I'm going to go for the Vengeful Rebel, just so that even through bounce magic I probably present lethal here. And then I'm going to pass the turn, because I expect them to do something into this tutelage. They want to make good use of that mana if they're going to make the 19 cards matter. So now I Cloud Shift my Dawnbringer Cleric, killing the tutelage, and that should be the game. Boop. Alright, they draw 4 cards, but those 4 cards don't do anything. I am threatening lethal, so they have to do 19 cards. That's 10 triggers on a tutelage. That's pretty much just not going to happen. Ruin Crab, they could have a fetch land here. That's only 6. And I've got lethal in the air right now. If I draw a black source, I can kill the Ruin Crab to push through some extra damage. 13 cards left. Lucky 13. Opponent has Crushed the Weak. Ooh, that could do something if they've got a little bit more. Have you got a little bit more? Nope, just going to discard. And we got Cloud Shift. That probably matters in some form, so I think we'll just go with the attack here, threatening lethal. If they've got a bounce spell, so be it. Okay. Stern Dismissal my Savior. I could flicker my Savior to replay my Bugler, but I don't want to thin my deck. So I think I'm just going to let that happen. Put our opponent to 3. Replay Skyline Savior. Pulling back. I could pull back the Thriving Heath, but then I don't have my Cloud Shift. I want my Cloud Shift, I think. If they've got another Stern Dismissal and they want to use it on their turn, for example, then I can Cloud Shift in response. Ooh, this could do it. That's 3. Plus another 3. Can they make the final points up or stop us from winning the game, buying themselves another turn? 6 cards to their 4 life. Frantic Inventory. Okay. Could maybe find them a tutelage. Another Frantic Inventory. Maybe trying to find another Stern Dismissal. I think I'll... Wow, okay. I was going to say, I think I'll... maybe flicker the Bugler at that point. Actually, no, I'd have to flicker the Dawnbringer Cleric in response to the tutelage trigger, I think, so that it doesn't do the mill at that stage, but... yeah, I don't know. Very awkward mana there, and we still managed to push through, but extremely close, which will just definitely come from awkward mana. But either way, on to the next one. Alrighty, on the draw. This hand is awkward. Too many 4-drops and a 3-drop that doesn't particularly do anything. Yeah, this is better. And let's go down. I think the takedown is going to be a land here. I need a black source. Preferably. Maybe it is just takedown. I go like Thriving Heath on black. And then I've got the blue for the bouncer. And I can still play the Bugler and the Fatal Push. Yeah, I guess so. That's pretty much going to have to be it, I think. Alright, so stick this on black. Run up with the Volatile Fjord into Invasion of the Giants. Oh, Giant Tribal. Wasn't sure we had too many Giants in the format, but I'll be excited to see what our opponent's going to do here. I know that there's the Alchemy Uncommon one that gives Perpetual Ward 1 to Giants. So I guess that's what they're playing to here. Alright, this one I'm going to put on white. And then my mana should be perfect for the rest of the game, really. Okay, so they've got the Berg Strider. Which is certainly an annoying card that can't be fatal pushed, but not really a big deal when I've got Nightclub Bouncer to return expensive cards back to their hand. Okay, we got ourselves a Cloud Blazer. Didn't exactly need a second one of those either, but... Alright, so their Berg Strider is now 3 mana. So they're going to go ahead and play that. I think I might just, like, straight up bounce it back to their hand. Opponent's got something they could do here. Hopefully, I guess it's maybe like Frostbite. Is that what that card's called? It's been a while since I played it. Yeah, it is Frostbite. Alright. Their 3 damage burn spell of choice with their Snowlands. Makes sense. I'm gonna have to Cloud Shift as protection from it. Search your library for an instant or sorcery with the same name as a card in your graveyard. There it is. There's the Frostbite. Yeah, everything dodges my Fatal Push annoyingly. But we're gonna try and get some value here. I think I'm just playing my Plateau here, so I've got the Cloud Blazer open. And then we get to flicker the Bugler, the Bugler. Definitely want spare Soul Herder over third Cloud Blazer. We're going to pass a turn. Eventually Soul Herder will be out of Frostbite range. And it's also protected here as well, so... that's quite nice. I think it's worth protecting it there since, you know, Cloud Shift is just this Soul Herder activation on a card. Arcanist gets another Frostbite. Fair enough. Attacks me pointlessly for 2. Skyline Savior. Alright, well, I can't stop the Frostbite. So, we're not going to try. But that's why I've got a backup Soul Herder here. Stick this on white. I don't think it particularly matters. I could pointlessly attack them for 2, but I'm not going to. We'll just go Cloud Blazer here and get a lot of cards to play with for next turn. I like options. Let's see what we've got. We've got our land drop, we've got some removal. Goodbye, Soul Herder. Hello, other Soul Herder. Glimpse the Cosmos. Can glimpse again. Foretells a card. Alright, this time not pointlessly attacking. What could that card be? Maybe a Crush the Weak? Well, we're going to attack. Play our land for turn, I suppose. Could hold it, but don't really care to. I might just play another Cloud Blazer, try and draw into Cloud Shift. Didn't manage it. Alright, let's just play a Skyclave Cleric then. I feel like we've got this long game in the bag. We just need to find like Chupacabra plus Soul Herder protected on our engine. Pointlessly... Ooh, it's not actually pointlessly attacking this time. Because they might have Crush the Weak. So I'll let them hit me for 4. It's not as though I'm hemorrhaging life here. Yeah, if I block and they went with Crush the Weak, I would have had my board completely swept there. Gonna go get another Crush the Weak. Okay. Well, let's go Bugler. Oh, I needed that Cloud Shift. Ideally, I needed to just not whiff. Play another Bugler. There's the Chupacabra. Alright, that's going to help us clean up real nice. Stick this on black, I suppose. And just pass the turn here. I can actually, like, multi-block a single Arcanist, which might be where we're at. Yeah, Chupacabra plus Soul Herd is going to be really nice. I might be a little hesitant to use it in that manner because of potential blowouts. You know, we just got ourselves a backup. So we're going to go Chupacabra here, kill the Arcanist, and then I'm going to go Skyline Savior, bounce the Chupacabra so that it doesn't die to Crush the Weak on a future turn. Yeah, just name blue, I'm just naming anything at this point. And now we can not pointlessly attack. They can double block if they like. Yeah. I think that's totally fine. So we've got to keep in mind that all of our creatures have 2 damage perpetually stacked onto them right now, in theory. I guess it's even 4 if they really want to just like sweep the board here, they could. But I think they're probably looking to just like clean up after my blocks to get more value out of their Crush the Weaks, try to use one instead of both. Berg Strider. Sure. Taps down the Savior, which is my main threat at the moment. And passes. So let's go Chupacabra. Has flying, by the way. Flying Chupacabra. You'll love to see it. I could go for an attack, which will mean that they block with the Bugler, and then I go for Vengeful Rebel to finish off another Arcanist. I kind of like that. Yep, so they get to do the same thing they did last time. Except this time it's going to be a little different. Got the Vengeful Rebel to do the -3/-3 on the Arcanist here. Alright, so even though our fail pushes were really bad, we are still somehow managing to find a way to clean up this board and stay at 20 life. Which is definitely a good sign for the deck. Alright, you got a Frostbite for Chupacabra, that's fine. That's why we have backups. Opponents at 8. Their board's not looking particularly scary to me. Wouldn't surprise me if they go ahead and do double Crush the Weak. It's 4 damage to everything. They get to keep the Arcanist. I don't really get to punish that. But once they're gone, they're gone. Sort of, I suppose, unless they've got another Arcanist. They just really need to deal with this Savior. But they also have to consider that I might have a Cloud Shift to reset damage. Or even some way of saving them otherwise. Yeah, it looks like they are going to go for double Crush the Weak. So that was one from hand, so they've probably got one here as well. That's all 4 Crush the Weaks. That could prove to be a problem. I'm just going to Chupacabra and Cleric here. I'm not going to play the Soul Herder unless I can protect it. I think there is value in that. I've got my pressure on my opponent anyway. Bergstrider. So this could force me into playing my Soul Herder. But we're going to play a Bugler instead. Okay, I'll take the Nightclub Bouncer here, get some first time use out of that. I think I'll fire it off now. Hit that Bergstrider, now costs like 7. And hit our opponent for 1. And they concede. There was a Doomscar Titan in the Fatale Zone. What the hell does Doomscar Titan do? It's a 6 mana 4/4. Enters the battlefield, creatures you control get +1/+0 and haste. I mean, sure. That's a thing. Alright, well, we did have a Fatal Push completely stranded in our hand for the entire game, and our opponent's deck was certainly sweet, but yeah, it seems like it might have a bit of trouble with just grinding out the game, really. You can play big creatures, but if I have a Chupacabra, they just don't matter. Can't say we really drew the best flicker spells in the world, but we got our value, and our value was enough to clean our opponent out there. I wonder what these 4 cards were, really, because they can't play this Bergstrider. And I've got 2, 4, 6, 7 exactly lethal on board right now. I think they played all of their Crush the Weaks. No, they've got 3 Crush the Weaks. I assumed the Foretell was the 4th. And then that's 1, 2, 3, 4 Frostbites. So I think they've run out of removal. And that's pretty much why they conceded. I think if they played a blocker here, I hit them through that blocker, added pressure, hit them through that blocker, added pressure, I would probably win the game that way. So, yeah, it makes complete sense why they conceded there. Either way though, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you've enjoyed, and if you have, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. We will be back with some more Historic Artisan, because it is one of my favourite formats that is unfortunately not a perpetual thing, which is really kind of upsetting, but, you know, is what it is. We've got to make the most of it while it's here, and we'll certainly be doing that. But yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed, and enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.